Hello, guys. Let me find a good way to set up this live stream. That's my Bible. That's gonna hold our flashlight. It's gonna hold our lights, our Shlonic headlamp, which is what we're using as our light. So we're going to, it's what we're going to use to make sure our audience does not lack vision or sees everything that we are trying to record. And it's not quite so bright because I've been using it a lot at night. I've been using it to do a lot of farm work and a lot of animal work. We have about 40 or so animals that are usually in our care. Provide the food, we graze them, we handle their grooming sometimes. Of late, I haven't done any grooming. It's been quite hectic. And that's how we get our farm going. We usually have an estate that has a lot of plant and animal work. It has a lot of botany and zoology. Aside from that, we don't have anything else we do at home. So I should probably make some music that's gospel, but it's featuring a lot of our botany. So today we're going to do songs from my third album, and I'm happy that you guys are going to be on this live stream with me. We're still not so many, we're just a few of us. We're practically maybe about 0 to 1 or 0 to 2 listeners on this live stream channel. We just started about a few months ago and we've only done about 6 or 8 videos on live stream, and we've not reached out to anyone outside the internet. So it means nobody outside the internet has been asked to join our live stream. Everybody has just been from the internet. So thank you a lot to that one subscriber who's been there. You are really valid and you are really quite important. So our first song is going to be Learning to Apologize. I think I got the beat in my head. That seems to be the beat for the verse. I might have missed maybe 1 or 2 tones there, but listen, I was keeping it in my head. I was working on it. You know, it was just solo work, solo memory work. I think it's gonna be difficult to not miss a beat that is not in place where it's supposed to be. Alright, there it is. There we go. Here we go. Let's go. I have no fear, but some spirits cannot be vanquished without education. I have seen so many people to numb the many problems in Kenya. Ah, that's not bad. The whole song is called Learning to Apologize. And it's about some of these spirits or some of these things that are not quite godly. So you find somebody doing something that is not godly. Maybe they're dealing with depression, or maybe they're dealing with addiction, or maybe they're dealing with um, schizophrenia, or maybe they're dealing with um, disease. And then you find they're doing something that's not quite natural. So you find that doing things that are natural. So you know, when we say natural, we mean the things that have been set so that they can only be done, and in God's eyes or in the eye of the church or the eye of other religions, they are quite normal and they're actually quite promoted by church, like marriage. So now if you find somebody is not interested in marriage and they're doing other things, they're supposed to be married, you find that those guys are actually dealing with a spirit of rebellion or a spirit of underdevelopment or poor growth. I'm quite vast with such spirits because I'm usually in Africa, so it means a lot of the time you don't develop quite completely because even the infrastructure itself is not always developed. So if it's not always developed, it actually means that there's a lot of changes and a lot of positive habits that you have to introduce to yourself, or else you'll end up underdeveloped like most of the things we have in Africa. I have no fear because of you, Lord, but some spirits cannot be vanquished without education. I have seen so many people to numb the many problems in Kenya. The worst of this is death by weaponry that cannot be manufactured in Africa's homes. Theft, murder, idolatry, all fill our screens when we wake up every morning. I have no fear because of you, Lord, but some spirits cannot be vanquished without the use of institutions. That's basically verse 1 about that song. So it's about forgiveness and it's about learning to apologize and learning to say you're sorry and learning to handle all those problems. For example, maybe like there's this problem that is quite common in African households, and it's called the problem of underdevelopment by banking, or what we call by um, I don't want to say banking completely. It's not banking completely in actual sense. It's actually a mixture of banking and telecommunications. So in actual sense, you find there's a lot of guys using the internet, but they're not using it okay. So because so many people are not using it okay, you find that so many people get affected when like banks decide to lay off people or they decide to like punish people for the wrong use of the internet. So you find so many people are actually punished. And it usually goes about a whole area, or a whole village, or sometimes even a whole community or a whole district. And everybody's like told, you're not going to be paid enough, or you're not going to have good banking or services. You get denial of service, which is quite common in cyber schools or in cyber threats. You find denial of service is quite so high, and then you deny all the services, and then your businesses start failing, and you are depending on the internet or telecommunications to make sure your business remains resilient in the face of adversity. It's a big problem. So, in my opinion, sometimes you won't lack these problems if you don't profile everybody perfectly, or if you don't um, do a lot of live streaming and a lot of honest sourcing for labor, supplies, and what have you. And if it's not ethical, you definitely will have this problem trying to find out the genuine from ingenuine. Yeah. So the chorus goes like this. I don't remember its beat. I've quite completely forgotten its beat. All right. Um, Lord, thank you for the joy that comes from the forgiveness of sins. I think that's. Let me see if I can actually remember the whole chorus, like in totality. Lord, thank you for the forgiveness of sins, or for the sickness that comes from forgiveness of sins. Um, Lord, help me forgive those who sin against myself. Lord, help me find the goodness and the sweetness in the sins, or in the forgiveness of sins. And then, Lord, help me forgive those who sin against you. I think it's a 4-line chorus, so it's quite so simple and it's quite so basic. Lord, help me find joy in the forgiveness of sins. Lord, help me forgive those who sin against me. Lord, thank you for the sweetness that comes from the forgiveness of sins. Lord, help me forgive those who sin against you. That's chorus, and that's done. And it's quite, well, it was quite stressful living. It's not quite so stressful. It's 4-line chorus done, and you end up feeling forgiveful, and you end up feeling like you wanna try again whatever it is that is bothering you in your advancement, whether it's birth, marriage, courtship, education. Learning to apologize is quite an important step. It's one step closer to um, it's one step closer to acceptance. So we have verse 2. Can I remember verse 2? Uh-huh. Lord, some spirits cannot be vanquished without use of institution. Lord, help me. The other ones I have seen so many people. So this one is practically, it's not about the people. So now it would be, of course, um, the mercy that comes from God. Or it would be about anyway, I think I'm gonna skip verse 2, and then I'm gonna go to my second song, which is in my third album. The album is called Courage is Not for Fools, which is quite honest, because if you're going to be courageous, you can't be foolish. And if you become courageous and you become foolish, what you'll be doing is that you'll be wasting all that courage that you have. And not so many people will give you an opportunity if you become courageous, and then you end up being foolish in between on stage and while you're interacting, especially if you're going to be living in honest loving and Christian homes that support a lot of well-being and a lot of development and a lot of commitment to one another and the family. So this is quite important for those people who are going to be courageous, those people who are going to try to take the next step that follows work or that follows career or that follows professional commitments, which is lifetime commitments and lifetime goals and lifetime achievements. So kudos, because if you don't do this early enough, you won't get to do a silver jubilee and a platinum jubilee, which are usually celebrations for those who spent more than 50 or 75 years in commitment to one another as Christians. So quite some good celebrations. Personally, I'm 29, so for me to get to a platinum jubilee, I'd have to get to about 114. That's not going to happen. It's not easy. So you usually have jubilee in 50 years. So I could get to mine at 79, but getting to a platinum jubilee, which is at 114, is it 104, not 114? That is quite a dream. So you can see you'd have to outlive everybody. I can get up to 104. 10 years and one for 25 years. So 25 years is this is the anniversary. Is it? I don't remember the names for those two. Those ones are not quite some huge milestones that I've seen achieved on the internet. It's called the internet because that's where you find everybody who's achieved everything in everything to do with lifestyle goals. So my second song is for those ones who love one another and who've been courageous enough to love one another, and it's called Our Love Is So Strong. Whoa. Am I really going to remember this beat? Guys, are you sure I'm going to remember this beat? Alright, I'm going to change it to this one. This one doesn't sound like it. But it could be it, so let's stick to it and see where it goes. Alright. When I wake up every morning, I wake up with joy and you beside me. And then the second line goes like this. It goes like this. This is the first line when I wake up every morning. I wake up with you beside me. My beautiful wife, you are my joy in this life. All the loneliness and sadness replaced by you, my beautiful wife. So that's another that line. And then we go on and we find some other lines there. So there's the fourth line, which I'm trying to remember quite so much. It says, I have mercies for all the joy that comes with the vows we said at the altar. And then there's the last line. There's the second last line. I can't forget all the strength that is needed when our untimely death ends our eternal love. It goes something like that. It's quite a good song. It's called Our Love Is So Strong, and it's for all those people who love one another, all those people who love sharing with one another, and who love um, working together, and who love um, spending days and nights watching the stars together. Those guys are quite okay. And then now we have the last beat of this whole story. Oh no, we don't have the last beat of this whole story. We now have the chorus. So we have the chorus. How did that chorus go? Do I even remember its beat? Let me see if I can remember its beat. Uh-huh. I don't want to remember it. Let me be honest. I'm just remembering about how Pastor Atel is called Pastor Joel. He's in Zimbabwe. I hope he's having a nice time there. I hope he doesn't mind me mentioning him now that he's crossed my mind. So I'm gonna try and remember that chorus, just even though I'm remembering about Pastor Joel. So that chorus is usually about love, so it actually does have lines that talk about commitment, love, faith, hope, and most importantly, I don't think it has an I love you. It just has a lot of scripture. Yeah, so part of the chorus that we had above was Psalms 18. It goes Psalms 18. That was the one for learning to apologize. Psalms 18. I confess my iniquity. I um I confess my sins. And then it goes on to talk about. So the first line, that one was not there. That one goes to the second line. And then it goes to say, Lord, help me forgive those who sin against me. And then it talks about, Lord, thank you for the sweetness of forgiveness of sins. And then, Lord, help me forgive those who sin against you. Because there's a lot of idolatry and a lot of other problems. Even as you have people who love one another and people who share a message of love and a message of commitment to each other and a message of dedication to one another, there's also that other group that doesn't like sharing a lot of that messages. You find it shares a lot of pornographic and a lot of addictive messages. So I won't sing the chorus for Our Love Is So Strong. I'm sure you're going to find it there on our line and on our subscription. Meanwhile, let me say bye bye and make sure to check out tell.org. It's going to give you a lot of Christian strength, and I hope to see you in class soon. And as we wait to be called disciples for Christ, and as we walk through all that discipleship with our teachers and with our peers, so that we form a better world than is there. Meanwhile, you can check out my new album that's called Be the Change. It was released in December, and it's not bad. It's got quite a lot of AI inside it. It's got a lot of AI lyrics inside it, so you'll get a brief view of what my AI would write if it was human, or what it would play if it was human. Aside from that, see you later, guys. Bye bye.